I'm just wondering now if could you tell us a little bit about your dad and his store and?
Yeah, come on here and sit down.
Yeah, let me get that.
I barely remember the stove.
But you could.
Okay, is that, mine, I'm rolling, is that rolling?
Everything's good.
Okay. Would you?
State your name here for us today.
Wilma
Wilma
Comer Creely.
Comer Creely. And Ms. Creely, Wilma, when were you born?
I was born in February the 27th, 1933.
Okay.
So I'm 82.
And where were you born?
I was born at 409 South Clifton Street in that house.
Right here in Fulton. Okay. In the house there.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the attending physician?
Dr. John Center, or J.T. Center.
So he delivered you.
Mhm.
And who were your parents?
Verdi Ozell Stovall Comer. And my father was Joseph Sanford Comer.
And he had a nickname, didn't he?
Sant.
Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And were they Fulton natives or were they born?
Mother was born at Peppertown, and Daddy was born near Manatee. And they moved to Fulton. You may not want to know that now. Yeah. They moved to Fulton. He built that house in 1928. They moved there in September of 28. And Christine was 6 months old, and Tarlene was born. We were born later.
So there were the three sisters and
Two brothers.
two brothers.
Mhm, they were older.
And they were, what are their names?
Graydon Comer and Gordon Ray Comer.
And what did your dad do?
The year that he moved to Fulton and built the house, he built the store where Black's was
Okay.
in 1928. I thought it was interesting. He told me that he paid $3,000 for the house and $3,000 for the store, all in that 1 year. I thought that was rather cheap, you know.
And that was right before the Depression.
Right, right. And he opened a grocery store.
It was a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess he sold just groceries or?
Yeah, and my brother was the meat cutter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And which brother is that?
Gordon Ray. Graydon worked there too, but Gordon Ray was there. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And how long was the store there? Do you have any memories of the store itself?
Yeah, I
Going
do.
there?
I do. Of the candy, candy jars and whatever. I would say he didn't stay there. I'm not sure of the dates. Probably 5 years. And then Mr. Louis Kilpatrick, we kept the building, but Mr. Louis Kilpatrick ran a grocery store. And later, Mr. Jim Gilland ran a grocery store there. And Tom Comer had a feed store there.
That same location?
Mm-hmm. We kept the building till 76 and rented it.
And so when your dad closed his grocery store, what did he do?
He was a cotton buyer and farmer. He had a farm over on the River Road.
What
And
did he grow?
I'm not sure, cotton and corn, I guess. Yeah.
And what did he do as a cotton buyer?
It was real interesting to me. They had a gin down here, and he would go down there, and I would get so tickled. I don't know whether he knew what he was doing. He'd pull the cotton, you know, and he would buy it from the farmers, and then he would sell it in Tupelo or Memphis or somewhere. And he did that for years. I don't know how long, but
So he kind of an early cotton speculator,
it was.
commodities trader,
Yeah, it really was.
town of Fulton.
Uh-huh.
And where did y'all go to church?
Fulton United Methodist.
So you probably then grew up as a little girl attending the church
Yeah.
on the corner here,
Right.
the Catholic churches.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The first time I remember anybody was Brother Atkins was the minister at that time, and I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
What kind of activities do you remember at the church?
I don't remember a
Yeah,
lot
Sunday
until I was a
school.
teenager. And of course, we had youth activities, but of course we had revivals. But I don't remember a lot of the.
When you started grammar school, where was it located?
The grammar school was on Clifton Street. I don't know the exact street number, but it was a frame building. And the first year I was in school, it burned when I was in the first grade. So we went to school in the churches for a year, and then they built
Churches, what churches?
Baptist, Methodist, Church of Christ too, I think. And then they built a little shotgun building down there. And we went down there 2 years, I guess, because I remember moving. We carried our books and everything and moved to the new building over on Cummings Street. And that I was in the third grade.
So do you remember much about that building that burned?
Yeah, I do. It had a little courtyard in the middle, and it was, of course, a frame building. But,
What caused it to burn down?
you know, I don't remember. I really don't remember what caused it to burn. But,
And did you say it was 2 stories?
no,
No.
no, it was just a frame building, but it wasn't two-story.
On Clifton Street.
Uh-huh, yep.
And then the,
Next door to where Jane Alexander lives, that's where it was.
and the, so how many, you said a couple of years you went to, attended classes in churches?
Uh-huh,
A
yeah.
couple of years until they could
Build the new building.
build a new building. And it was, did they have to acquire land or, you know?
I'm
what
sure
that
they
land
did
was
from the
used-
Robinsons.
Okay, the Robinsons.
Uh-huh.
That was the,
Uh-huh.
Ellie and Robinson
Uh-huh,
on that land where the grammar school sits.
Right.
The old grammar school sits.
right. Now that's what I
What you
remember.
remember.
Yeah.
And the, so for 2 years in churches, and then you said something about the shotgun building?
Yeah, we went there 1 year.
That was just a temporary.
Yeah, just a temporary.
Who were some of your first school teachers?
Beg your pardon?
Who were some of your school teachers?
Miss Rita Brown was my first grade teacher. Thelma Spencer was the third grade. Irene Birch was the second grade. And I remember, you know, several of the. And Miss Riley was my third grade.
Who was the school principal?
Brother Raper,
Okay.
yeah. And later, Mr. McDonald.
What did you do during recess?
We played jacks or hopscotch, something like that.
And you lived just down the street from the school.
Yeah, I walked to school. It wasn't very far, yeah. Sure did.
So do you remember, like, buses, and were there a lot of
Yeah.
children, I guess, that rode in on
Right.
school buses?
There was. Uh-huh.
How many students were in your classroom each year about?
I don't remember. I would say 25, maybe not that many.
Was there a bell, a school bell that was,
Oh, yeah, big school bell, like a dinner bell.
and did it ring, I guess, at recess or?
Yeah, and at
or
lunchtime.
Lunchtime. And where did you eat lunch, or how, did you bring your own lunch?
Well, I walked home. They had a lunchroom, but I walked home for lunch. Yeah, they had a lunchroom. Ms. Mask ran it. You don't remember her. And her husband was the janitor.
And then, what about Saturdays?
Saturdays, what did we do? Well, we played. We had playhouses until when we got old enough to do anything, we kept clean house. And when we got old enough to iron, we did our own clothes, about 10 years old or so, you know.
Did you come to town on Saturdays?
Oh, yes. That was the highlight because the Dixie Theater was open and everybody came to the movie. But when I was young, we would come up here and sit in the car and watch the traffic, and it would be solid cars all around the court square. Well, the stores stayed open till 10 o'clock, till the theater was, movie was over. So they stayed open till 10 o'clock. So that was our Saturday night activity when I was little.
So did you go into the movies?
I went to the movies a lot in the afternoon, so yeah, I did.
But a lot of people watching,
Oh yeah,
activity watching.
yeah,
Do
right.
you remember candidate speakings?
Oh yes. Yeah, my father ran for chancellor clerk 3 times. He was never elected. But I went to all the candidate speakings. Yeah.
I imagine they had huge crowds.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember any statewide candidates that came?
Not really.
Any
I remember
stories?
Bilbo.
You remember when Bilbo came to speak?
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about it?
Not really a lot, just a lot of talk about he was coming, you know. And I don't remember a lot about, but
Do you remember a lot of people supported him, or
I don't remember that. Mm-mm.
parades?
Not many parades. No, just bet on the court square.
What about the doctors in town?
We had 2. Well, we actually had 3, I guess. Dr. Orr and Dr. Center. And I remember Dr. Orr had a little frame building on Main Street for a while, just 2 little rooms. And now we did have another one, I can't think of his name. He later moved to Smithville. Summerford, Dr. Summerford. And then Dr. Richard Center was a dentist at that time, and he was in the office with Dr. John Center.
Were they related?
Brothers.
When did Dr. Collum and Dr. Tubb open their practices?
Dr. Collum came here in, well, let's see, about, Jack Murray was born in 63. Well, he's been here about 58 years, I guess. I'm guessing, but I think that's right. And Dr. Tubb came later when Dr. Crockett left.
Do you remember Mrs. Orr?
And I worked for Dr. Collum a couple of years.
What did you do?
I was just the office, helped him, assisted him.
And what are your memories of Mr. Creely serving as mayor?
Well, some were good and some were bad. When he was judge, that wasn't a good memory because people would call 12 and 1 o'clock at night, and you know. But most of them are good memories.
Well, as he stated, you were his right-hand man or right-hand woman.
Yeah. And have been for, be 65 years the 10th of July.
Well, do you have any stories that you would like to share with us before we
Not
close?
really, not really. And no, I just don't
Well,
really.
thank you. I appreciate your.
Well,
your,
you can block this here because I didn't plan. Oh, I didn't plan to do
Oh, I
this,
know,
so it'd
I
be
know.
fine with me if you block
No,
that.
no, no. I mean, we're just.
You did very well. Yes.